Right, so let me first adjust the levels a bit. Yes, I hope everyone can hear me. This is just a quick install Linux tutorial to test my setup. Basically nothing important going on right here. I've inserted a live USB stick into one of my laptops. Fedora 42 is the current version and I'm going to be installing it and later watching this back on YouTube and see how well it's made. Okay, so here we go. I've got this live Fedora workstation boot up prompt now in front of me because my laptop obviously booted from the USB stick. I can select some options, test this media and install is the default. Well, I don't want to test the media because I already did that. It's working fine. So, let's continue. When I choose the start Fedora installation, it will tell me basically I'm going to boot up. It's got a Fedora logo at the bottom that's that I did not want, so I put my own company logo at the bottom. And I'm going to be installing Fedora from this boot up media. Now, the USB stick looks kinda slow, so we are going to have to be a bit of patience to get the main booting screen. Well, looks to me like it's doing something. I'm going to stop the recording until the next screen is here. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have to. It's already here. So, this is the base Fedora setup and it says welcome to Fedora, install or not now. If you choose not now, it will basically be a live Linux distro and you can start using it right away. But you cannot make any permanent changes to the system. As soon as you reboot, everything is gone and it will be back to the default. Since I don't want that, I want to actually use my Linux Fedora. I'm going to be installing it on this laptop. Now, as you can see from my mouse cursor, it is again busy. It's starting the installer from my USB stick. I've got two desktops. They're basically the same. And as you can already see, it is starting my installing on my desktop 1. My other desktop I can still use as a regular Linux distribution, browse the internet if I need help installing it or whatever. Considering that I've been doing this for a while, I don't need any help. I'm going to start by selecting my language. It will be nice to select a language that I actually speak, so I won't be selecting any Japanese or Russia or any other of the languages I don't speak. I'm speaking Dutch and English, but because this might be an international audience, I will be choosing English United States. Next. It's asking me how I want to use the disk. Now, I've already prepared my disk as a 16 gigabyte small partition and I want to use that. Well, as you can see, it is seeing it as a virtual disk because it is not the entire disk. I've partitioned it and then said to Linux, okay, you can use this disk, as it thinks it's a whole disk, but it's actually not. Storage. Well, do I want to encrypt my data? Yes, of course I won't want to encrypt my data because a laptop can be lost or stolen or whatever. But on this tutorial I'll choose not to. If you choose to encrypt the data, it will ask you for a passphrase, and every time you boot your system it will ask for this passphrase. If you forget it, then your Linux distribution will become unusable. You will have to reinstall from scratch. Okay, next. It will tell me to install a boot partition, the main partition and the home partition. The boot partition will be 1 gigabyte standard. In newer Fedoras there will come a change when it will be 2 gigabyte standard because otherwise it will not fit. This is from Fedora 43 and onwards. Fedora 42 however still has 1 gigabyte, it still thinks it's enough. So now I can quit, erase data and install, or go back. I will choose erase data and install. Now it's creating all storage devices and it's starting to install software. Installing software from my USB stick isn't going as fast as I would like, but at least it's faster than downloading it from the internet. Even with my gigabit home speed internet, downloading it from a USB stick is faster. Okay, I will speed up the recording later because we don't need to watch all this. I will be back in a second when it's almost done installing the software. After installing the software, I get a chance to configure some aspects of the system, like adding extra packages, users, setting a password, and other stuff we haven't done yet. This is different from previous Fedora installations, because then you would do this while it's installing the software and you do not need to wait for it to finish. I'm not sure why they said we would like to change this until later, but it is what it is. I am not the author of Fedora, it's from a company named Red Hat, and I do not control this process. Also, to all of you who thought installing Linux is a very hard job, as you can see, it's straightforward. Just start the installer and start installing. That's it. After the installation you will get some questions about configuration, but these are optional. You don't actually need to do anything. You can just skip it if you'd like. But I would strongly recommend creating a user or setting the root password, otherwise you will be unable to log into your new system. Well, that's basically all there is to it. I will return to this video when it's done installing and entering the system configuration phase. Except it will be in only 40% now, it's already at 59%. It will begin soon. So, let's skip the rest. I basically have nothing to say until the system configuration phase. Right, here we are again. It's almost finished installing and it's now going to install the system configuration part. It's installing the bootloader, which will allow the operating system to boot once the installation is complete without using the USB key. So after it's finished I can safely remove the key and then we can start from the internal disk. This will be shown in a minute after the finalization phase has happened. Well, I'm not sure why this is taking so long. Must be the disk is a bit slow. I have no idea. It's an NVMe disk in my laptop, so it should be pretty fast. Perhaps it's still copying stuff from the USB key, which I admit is not that fast. It's an USB A key, so it's a bit older, and not a USB C key, which is of course a lot faster. Well, there we go. Installation is almost complete. Still waiting. And after this system configuration phase, it will hopefully show me the user login we talked about earlier. If not, it's not really a big problem for me, because this is just a video to test my setup, to see how it's actually looking on YouTube, and basically installing a Linux and seeing how the things is actually looking, and if any viewers are interested in installing a basic Linux, because it's really simple. There we go. Now it's finalizing the system. It's in progress and configuring stuff. I have no idea. It's generating some RAM disk. The RAM disk is necessary for the kernel to find all the other stuff it needs to boot. After the bootloader has done its business, the Linux kernel will be loaded and it will start looking for stuff because of the RAM disk. The RAM disk is a mini operating system, completely built and customized by Red Hat, and you have absolutely nothing you can do here as an end user. Now, if you're a Linux system administrator, you will be doing rescue from the RAM disk. Now, there we go. we can now reboot without the USB stick and exit back to the live desktop that we have earlier. If you would like to have feedback on the installation, you can click the QR code or click the link. It doesn't matter, it will take you to the same page. So we will go to the live desktop and we will reboot the machine. After rebooting, I will of course remove the USB stick, so it will simply start directly from the internal hard disk. I don't need to wait, I want to restart it now, please. So, right now it's stopping the virtual machine running from the USB stick and it will start. This time I'm not getting any install Fedora output because I removed the USB stick. The USB stick, therefore we can already see it's booting a lot faster from the internal disk, and now it's telling me welcome. It again wants to do the language selection, this time not for the install process but for the user. The user is using English just like before. The welcome message will change its language so everyone will know that they're being welcomed. My keyboard selection, a few most popular keyboards are in the drop down menu, but you can press the three dots here below if you need more. Well, I don't need more, I have an English US keyboard. Location services, if you would like privacy you can turn this off, then the same goes for automatic problem reporting. Private users may want to turn both of these options off, but for me I don't really care, so let's go. Next I need to set my time zone, so the local clock will display where I am actually am. Well, I'm based in Netherlands, but it's not there, so I will choose Amsterdam, Netherlands, which is there. And then I click next. Would you like to enable third-party repositories? No, not at this time. I would like a basic Linux install as is presented to a newbie Linux user. Then we will go on about me. My name is test user. Now, it will automatically tell me this will be your username, but should I not be satisfied with this username, I can change that. Now, let's change this to some real name. Of course, this is not the name I would like to log in with, it is just Mark. There we go. And if you have connected the system to a Windows Active Directory or a Linux Active Directory situation, Linux provides Active Directory through the use of FreeIPA, which is basically the same as an Active Directory without being able to set group policies. It works exactly the same, however, with Kerberos and other software packages and services that the real Windows AD also delivers. The only thing different is you cannot set group policies on a Linux Active Directory. Next. Well, it's going to ask me for a password. Do not ever do this in production, my password is going to be A. It will tell me this password is very weak, and if I would like to use it, I will need to confirm that. And then it says, I'm all done. Start using Fedora Linux. And that's it. It will then offer you a tour to explain to you the most basic options of Fedora, or you can skip the tour and start using it right away. This concludes my Linux Fedora Linux installation of the most recent Fedora out there right now, which is Fedora Linux 42. I will skip the tour and start using it. Okay, that concludes this setup of my Linux friendly tutorial video to see how my setup is performing. Thanks. See you next video.